Discovery.
I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about Obi-Wan Nairobi, possibly the coolest nickname ever given to anybody.
Pretty sweet.
It's a badass story.
Yeah, badass nickname, badass man, badass story.
I'm with you.
It's a full quota of badass this week.
Just badassery all over. First of all, thanks from new and returning listeners, though, before we get into that. So where shall I start on the list? Whitstable in the UK, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, Council Bluffs in the US, Perth in Australia, Brussels in Belgium, Boardman, Oregon, Erlangen-Birkendorf in Germany, Jersey City in the US, Dartmouth in Canada, New York in America, London in America.
London? Nothing's sacred, is it?
It's not. Really isn't. Guadalajara, Spain, and Ashburn in America. Thank you for listening. Tell a friend, tell several friends. Follow us on Facebook at Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. YouTube is Apocalypse Bull, and SoundCloud and Spotify and all your other podcasting platforms are Cutting to the Bull in the PTA. Oh, how's everyone been then? That's the admin out the way. Have you been chasing off the fears of existential dread?
Always.
It's a constant,
Yeah.
it's a constant fight, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you got to laugh.
This is true.
I've just been getting by on memories of old football, 90s Premiership, back when,
Men were men.
yeah, and it was good.
No money in the game.
But, that's living backwards though, isn't it? I
It
did
is.
read a good quote on Twitter today though. It said, anytime Man City lose, football wins.
Yeah. I'm glad they lost the FA Cup
Yeah,
final.
it was a good weekend.
And then, you still can't argue with the fact they play amazing football.
Ben,
Yeah.
yeah, but they wouldn't have that team.
There's an asterisk next to all
Yeah.
these wins.
I hope they strip them of everything. I'd
Me
laugh
too.
my
I would
fucking
love
head
it.
off.
I would love it. Now we're getting slightly sidetracked, but we'll keep it brief because I know a lot of people hate Man United, but it's still they've built everything over years and years of hard work and excellence, and it's not right that a fucking oil tycoon billionaire can just come in, pick any random fucking team, and just dominate football forever. Fuck you. But my fear is the only way to beat it is for another fucking oil.
Well, that's it,
tycoon to
Newcastle
buy
now, isn't it?
Another
Yeah.
one, yeah, and then it's just fuck. So who knows?
And then we'll have like the Gulf State final in the FA Cup.
God. Or one of our teams has got to. This will take 20 years, but they've got to focus every last bit of resource on youth development and make the best players in the world from their academy, so they don't have to fucking buy them because they built them.
Yeah, I know, but then the fair play, the FFP rules and all that, they mean that you have to sell your youngsters in order to compete.
Well,
Yeah,
football's fucked, isn't it?
Yep. Money, it's fucked it.
But they are beatable.
they are beatable.
They were out thought and out tacticked.
Oh, yeah, you got to give him respect. Pep,
Yeah.
great manager. You can't deny it. But like you say, there is that asterisk. It does a bit of a blot on the...
It is, isn't it? 115 charges of financial irregularities. It's not one or two, is it? It's 115. That's more players than Nottingham Forest signed last season. Only just, though.
If your friend told you she had a new boyfriend and he had 115 charges against his name, but he's a nice guy, give him a chance. Are you fucking mental? Drunken. So, just saying.
Yeah, let's crack on with Obi-Wan Nairobi.
Help me, Obi-Wan Nairobi. You're my only hope.
In many cases, he was in this scenario. The 2019 Dusit D2 complex attack was a terrorist attack that occurred on the 15th to 16th of January 2019 in the Westlands area of Nairobi, Kenya, which left 22 civilians and all 5 terrorists dead.
The only good terrorist is a dead terrorist.
Yes, unless you're taking them for enhanced interrogation.
Well, there is that. But it's definitely more fun just to shoot them in the face. I imagine.
More satisfying, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Especially after they've killed like 22 civilians.
Yeah, poetic justice.
So, the Islamic militant group Al-Shabaab had been opposed to Kenyan involvement in the Somali civil war.
Now, Al-Shabaab, they're a side sort of shoot off from Al-Qaeda, aren't they?
Yeah, financed and trained by Al-Qaeda.
Al-Shabaab is also a banging kebab house in Wolverhampton.
It does sound like a kebab house, doesn't it? Al-Shabaab's kebabs.
Sorry.
Explosive flavour.
But you calm it down with the Obi-Wan Nairobi sauce.
A cooling sauce.
Yeah. The terrorist group had previously attacked the suburb of Westlands during the 2013 Westgate shopping mall attack, which left 67 people dead. In 2015, Al-Shabaab terrorists were involved in a mass shooting of Garissa University college students, leaving 147 dead and many others injured. And this incident was the country's worst terrorist attack since the 1998 United States Embassy bombings, which left over 200 people dead. So they've been busy boys.
Nasty bastards.
Busy, naughty boys. And obviously because of this, the Kenyan government has reached out to Britain and said, you know your SAS? The 22nd SAS that you've got?
Best of the best.
Them guys, the guys who pioneered counter-terrorism hostage rescue work. Could we borrow a couple and pay you handsomely, please, to come and train our counter-terrorist teams, please?
Now, for anybody who doesn't know who the SAS is, Special Air Service.
Special Air Service. He who dares wins, the motto. He who dares wins.
What's the American equivalent?
Delta Force.
Delta Force.
But the Delta Force is effectively a US SAS clone, because it was founded by a guy that was on active service with the SAS in an exchange program.
Yeah.
And he basically went back to America and said, we need that.
Yeah.
And everyone agreed with him, so he basically just cloned everything about the SAS, the training, everything bar the weapons, training tactics,
And,
organisation, everything.
They specialise in like clearing places and
Hostage rescue,
Yeah.
counter-terrorism, deep reconnaissance behind enemy lines, and the fact they're all incredibly... they're all marksmen. You know, every shot they shoot tends to hit somebody.
They recruit from the normal forces, don't they? But it's like the elite of the elite.
yeah. It's like, how long is the recruiting process? Like
6 months.
6 months. Shit.
Most of the time, it's not because the applicants aren't physically fit enough. Most of the applicants are coming from the fucking parachute regiment.
They're already absolute badass.
They're already part of an elite unit.
I think 6 months that training, 4 months is in a jungle, isn't it?
I don't
They
know.
just plop you in a jungle for 4 months. Something like that, is it?
No, you do jungle training after you've passed selection.
Oh, right.
It's all in the Welsh. It's all in Wales. It's all in the Brecon Beacons, the majority. And it's about testing your mentality. It's not about whether you're physically fit. Oh, people die all the time on it.
Recently, someone was doing it on the Brecon Beacons in summer and died. I don't know if it was officially for the army. Yeah, it was for the army, so it must have
Yeah.
been.
Well, I watched an old SAS guy talking about it, and he says they plopped him in a jungle, and you're going to get from one place to the other.
How long ago, how old was he?
Oh, he was quite old.
Things have changed.
Oh, right.
That could have been during the Malayan emergency or the
He
Indonesia.
wasn't that old. He was
Yeah.
like in his 50s.
Alright, well, Indonesia was the 70s. Interesting fact with the SAS, the only force, British Army, and the British Army's the only army that's ever had a unit go into the jungle and fight indigenous guerrillas and win twice.
They won a war against gorillas.
I know, fucking hell.
Guerrillas.
I thought, fuck me, Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, it's come true. They kept this quiet. The SAS also has a cool logo tattoo thing, doesn't it?
The wing dagger.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Formed in 1942 by Captain Sir David Stirling.
Good name.
Went behind enemy lines, causing
Sterling
havoc.
name.
Went behind enemy lines, causing havoc in jeeps with 50 cows strapped to them, blowing up aircraft, making a mess.
Being a badass.
Being badass.
And their motto is the best of the best, isn't it? No.
He who dares
That's
wins.
it.
Who dares wins.
Who dares wins. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, he who dares wins is Delboy, isn't it?
Yes.
Delboy.
He who dares, Rodders. He who dares.
The unofficial motto is got the same initials as the regiment. It's speed, aggression, surprise. That's their doctrine.
That's a good method to take a man down.
Yes, conduct assaults, get in and out of an embassy.
Because they're going to be very good at hand to hand, aren't they?
Close quarter battle, pistols and knives, yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly pistols, you don't want to be relying on a knife.
Well, I bet they could probably even use like a pen
Possibly.
if they had to.
Probably worth pointing out that, you know, your James Bond types, well, they come from the SAS.
Yes. He's not real though, is he?
There's people like that,
Yeah.
to a point.
Oh, I wish. That would be my dream job.
It would and it wouldn't.
Well, they die, I bet they.
I'd imagine the turnover rate is quite high.
But look at the birds.
I don't think you get as many as Bond did.
And the cars and come on, the locations.
You're probably just in a jungle trekking through shit and then you have to assassinate some local warlord.
Okay.
I don't think you're hanging around casinos.
I'll at least shag one bird while I'm there.
There's a chance of a cock or two in the jungle.
Oh dear. So, the SAS, the absolute best of the fucking best.
First came to the public consciousness with the Iranian embassy siege, of course.
They, going around training people is part of, they do get sent to do this, I was reading quite a bit. You just might not hear about it so much.
Yeah, the SAS are
Places where we have an interest as a country.
Yeah, they're quite a substantial, what's the word? No, they take a lot of money from the SAS's training, the Foreign Office, because people pay handsomely to go and have a couple of these guys come and train their forces.
Yeah. Well, we've got to be good at something.
Usually just killing people.
And it may as well be, yes, brutally killing people.
Yes.
But not as brutally as these terrorist motherfuckers.
Well, this is a valid point.
You know, if there wasn't mad evil cunts like this, we wouldn't need like Action Man, would we?
No, we wouldn't.
Because I watched an interview with an old SAS guy, and they're like, "Do you regret any of your killing?" And then he's straight like that instantly. No, because we only get sent to like deal with very bad people.
Yeah, that's it.
Who are
Yeah.
doing very bad things. So, nope. Next question.
Doing everyone a favour, really, aren't you, in that respect?
Yeah.
The attack occurred at 14 Riverside Drive Complex in Westlands, Nairobi, Kenya. This is an upscale hotel. A lot of foreigners there. It's a bit of a business complex. It hosts the Dusit D2 Hotel, the Commission on Revenue Allocation, the Adam Smith International Group, Amadeus IT Group, LG Electronics, I&M Bank, SAP East Africa and Cellulant Kenya Limited. You know, big companies. This is a bit of an affluent area.
Yeah.
And what happens is not pleasant,
No.
to be fair. The attack began at 14:30. That's 2:30 for you and me.
2:30 p.m.
2:30 p.m. for you and me. On the 15th of January 2019, and was concluded a few minutes before 10 a.m. the following day. Initial reports are of gunfire and 2 explosions at the hotel. The 5 attackers arrived in 2 vehicles, and one of the attackers went to the Secret Garden restaurant on the alfresco dining area, was shouting angrily into a phone in Swahili, like, "Where the fuck are you guys?" And then detonated an explosive device that was strapped to him.
Fuck.
God.
Were the people out there eating and shit?
Yeah. Yeah, there was very few survivors of the people who were eating. And I don't think they'll ever find out who was there, because, I mean, those things tend to be packed with shrapnel as well as high explosive, maximised casualties.
Nasty.
Very nasty.
Yep.
How would you... I know it's all about the 72 virgins, but fucking hell, how would you...
I wouldn't burn myself up.
No. I'm not... Do I
Far
get...
too selfish.
Well, it's just like, well, I don't see the attraction. You're making... Then again, we're not brainwashed. They are brainwashed into doing it.
Of course, they are religious zealots,
Yeah.
lunatics.
After the blast, the remaining terrorists forced guards to open the gates of 14 Riverside Drive by shooting at them and killing them. and lobbing grenades into some parked cars. Mainly, it's all about distraction and diversion. And these cars are on fire. What's happened? They've got to stop and check that out. Is it a bomb? You know, are there any casualties around? And they were throwing the grenades as they made their way into the complex, igniting some vehicles parked in the parking bay. The Recce Company, the Anti-Terrorism Division of the Kenya Police Force General Service Unit, was sent in to combat the militants. They got there in about 10 minutes.
That's fair play.
The Kenyan government was probably rightly praised for its response here. It's pretty quick response. But these are guys who haven't long been trained or are in the process of training.
Okay.
You don't want... this is what Christian Craighead is out here doing, training these guys. So, let's, they're new at this, but they do a perfectly adequate job, by all accounts.
Well, they've got to have some veterans in the unit, haven't they?
There's new training, I guess, new ideas.
Plus
takes
the
time
fact that it's not the first terrorist attack, is it?
No.
There's a lot more.
Well, I'd argue that this unit has probably been raised specifically because of terror attacks. You need a unit that's can go in and get hostages as well as kill the bad guys, don't you? I love the fact that not only members of private security forces and some unarmed individuals alongside of some off-duty police officers and armed civilians just ran in there to try and stop these
Who
guys.
the fuck are the unarmed civilians that have gone in there?
People have probably got family in there. Like, shit.
Otherwise, you're one brave motherfucker. There's a terrorist attack. I've got no weapons. Well, I'm going in there anyway.
I'll pick up some glass off the floor.
I'll bite someone.
Rips at the throat.
Send him in. Send that guy in. He's a Kenyan Wolverine. A British SAS operator who was in the country to conduct training responded to the melee and entered the complex. This is an interesting one because he's like shopping somewhere and he gets a phone call by a mate who's there and says, look, there's a terrorist attack, you need to get here. He jumps into his car and starts blasting through the streets of Kenya. He's there in about 15 minutes on a drive that should have taken him 45.
Well,
He's mounting the curb. He's fucking slamming in and out of traffic.
I bet he's had advanced driving training as well.
Yes, very much so, yeah.
Nigel Manseling his way through Nairobi traffic.
He's got classical music playing. Vivaldi's Summertime, which is like a very high-paced classical music track.
How did he hear about the attack?
His mate rang him. He was there. And then the Dance Macabre came on as he got there, which you'll have heard that one, but it's quite apt.
Right. Is that...
It's very similar, yeah. It used to be the Jonathan Creek theme music. Did you ever watch that show? No. Yeah, something like that. I don't know if they're copyrighted, otherwise I'd play them.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
So he was known by his nom de guerre, Christian Craighead. He wore a shield badge on his tactical vest, a balaclava on his face while indicating an agent insignia to bystanders. He's got his kit in the boot of the car. His body armour.
I wonder what that nom de guerre.
Nom de guerre, I've not heard that before. What was the definition?
A pseudonym.
Yeah.
Or alias. Fictitious name.
No, it's not his real name then, Christian.
No. Andy McNabb isn't Andy McNabb's real name.
Ah, fair play.
It was Randy McNob.
He's got his...
Andy McDowell.
So he's got his rifle. He's got a Canadian Dymaco rifle, which is like the AR-15, except a Canadian version. Apparently it's quite good. SAS like it, so works for me.
Gotta be good.
A Glock pistol, a knife, his tactical vest, ammunition, body armour, a balaclava, and a pretty sweet Jolly Roger Blackbeard patch on the back of his armour. So everyone actually thinks he's American at first.
Yeah.
Because it's a patch issued by the Black Rifle Coffee Company, which was founded by veterans and a lot of special forces guys like it because it's strong as shit.
Yes, I've heard it. It's advertised on some podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's his favourite coffee.
That's his favourite coffee. He's got the little patch on the back of his arm. Everyone thinks, oh, he must be an American.
Right.
No, he wasn't. He was British.
Very British.
He enters the complex and he meets up with Dan J. Prasilo, the Slovenian director of the Diplomatic Protective Services Tactical Response Unit.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's a mouthful.
The Slovenian director.
I'm assuming the Slovenian embassy is close by and he's head of diplomatic security. So he's got counter-terrorism training, hasn't he? So he's like, I'll go and lend a hand. But it's worth pointing out that Craighead is literally running the show on the ground. He goes in the hotel, he starts bringing civilians out. Yeah. He goes in again.
Yeah,
this is before the Kenyans who are throwing a perimeter around the place are still organising. He's just going in, getting people out. These terrorists, the 4 terrorists that are left, are just going through this hotel, shooting everybody, executing people. There is no mercy shown by them. They are just there to kill and eventually to be killed themselves, I'd imagine.
Yeah, bastards.
Craighead led the group clearing each floor of the office and car park buildings as they tried to call out hostages by shouting, Eagle, Eagle, security forces. I suppose you've got to know. You've got to shout out an identifier.
Yeah, you're in a balaclava.
Yeah.
Both individuals were seen on the mainstream media clips escorting groups of hostages and carrying wounded ones. You're carrying wounded people out, escorting others, you're covering them.
This is proper, like, you know, this is every male fantasy, isn't it? I'm just going to one-man rescue.
Yeah.
Like an entire shopping mall of innocent people. Whilst all the while being dashing and brave.
Bollocks of steel.
Yes. I want to know how we got round this hotel so fast, carrying those massive balls. To be fair.
Yeah, I bet he's like, I live for this shit. This is what we train for.
Yeah, see, I just didn't even think twice about it. It's like...
Just action mode.
This is my job.
If Ben saw a load of crates that needed moving, he'd move them without thinking, would you?
Fork on me, fork.
Yeah, it's second nature to you.
No, I'll do that later on. What have I got on now? Oh, it's time for a vape break off. I'll do that later on. But this is different. I've got a rifle and a cool vest and a balaclava.
Yeah. Well, I heard an interview with him on a pod, and he said that one of the first things he heard when he got there is he could hear a woman screaming. Then a gunshot and the screaming stop, and he's just like, I knew, like, they're just fucking executing people.
Fuck.
Like, and he's, you know, you hear something like that, you've got the training and the equipment.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And he's going in on his own.
He's a fucking legend. And he didn't stop twice to think, what will my government say?
No.
He just waited to say, which would come back to bite him a little bit, but
Will.
You know, all he was thinking of was innocent people. I mean, save them.
There's some CCTV footage been released where you can see him, because as the Kenyan soldiers start to move into the hotel, they're obviously coming across dead, wounded, and people who just need escorting out. So their room clearance rate slows because they've got to protect paramedics who are working on the wounded. Right. Christian Craig just goes ahead. You know, literally just goes ahead on his own. He's going up the stairs, he's clearing rooms, he's clearing floors. He encounters 2 of the terrorists, who he then encounters in what was presumably quite a swift gun battle, and kills 2 terrorists on his own.
Yep.
Probably with the famous SAS double tap to the head method of shooting.
Yeah.
No Mozambique triple tap, though, is it?
Yeah, but you need the triple tap if they're wearing body armour. The headshots are backup. But if you put in 2 to the head, you don't need 2 to the chest.
I'm just impressed that I remembered that from an earlier episode.
It's a cool name, though, isn't it? Mozambique triple tap.
Certainly is.
Well, but I know you might say you don't need to put one in the chest if there's 2 in the head, but just as a fuck you.
Yeah.
Why waste the round if you put 2 in their head?
Well, for anyone watching,
It just looks cooler.
you know what I mean? Like, proper, like the guy in RoboCop who gets shot by Ed 209 and like,
Yeah, but that is also
12,000 bullets.
a massive waste of ammunition.
But look at the guy. I reckon everybody else will just drop their guns.
Best use of squibs ever in a film, that is.
Oh yeah, apparently it really fucked the guy up.
Yeah.
Well, he had like 1,200 miniature explosions taped to him. It was the 80s. People didn't really give as much of a fuck.
No.
Stuntmen, they're expendable.
And then he falls out a window.
Yeah. Oh god.
Love that film.
Best. So he's killed 2 of these.
He's killed 2 of them. And then he sort of takes a bit of a back seat.
Well, unbeknownst to them, the other two are just still going around.
They're still going around. It goes quiet for a bit. They kind of hunker down a bit, and then they start shooting later that night. But at this point, the Kenyans have evacuated pretty much everybody who needed getting out, or they could get out. But Christian Craighead is literally organising everything. He's on the radios. He's issuing orders. For 22 hours, he's in this place. 22 hours, no sleep, at peak performance.
Yeah, just took charge. Because the badasses, professional, uber badasses.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is crazy.
It's awesome. The guy's ace.
I've listened to him speak a few times,
Yeah.
and I find it really odd that he's quite religious.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Just remind me what one of the commandments is.
Yeah. But I bet he's seen some shit.
Yes, I'd imagine he
some
has seen
shit.
some shit.
Do you know what I mean?
We couldn't even dream of.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe he just needs something to help try and make sense of it.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
he's trying to get big in America a little bit. I've heard him on a lot of American
I think he lives
podcasts.
there. I heard him say in a podcast, England has fallen, or Britain has fallen, and he doesn't live here anymore.
Right.
So, that tells you
I wouldn't go to
something,
the
doesn't
US though.
it? I was
It's
gonna
more
say,
mental
that's
over
throwing
there.
The frying pan into the fire, isn't it?
Just a bit.
You know?
Our problems are nothing compared to theirs.
Yeah.
What will be in a
But to be
few
honest,
months.
every country that's popped into my head, there's shit happening. I was like, France, Italy. Like,
Yep.
No, don't go anywhere.
Nope.
It's all fucked.
Is there anywhere where shit's not
I
happening?
hear Ukraine's nice this time of year.
The ruling elite, man, they've done a good job, haven't they?
It's fine, there's literally no way.
There's got to be somewhere where nothing's happening.
Even Sweden has got right wingers now.
Timbuktu?
Then you got risk a typhoon, haven't you?
Well, yeah. Yeah, let's just stay where we are. Blackpool? That'll do.
Oh no.
Mind you, you're taking a risk going there. Come on, Ben, it's the Vegas of the North.
You know, I've never been.
What?
Heathen. Ever been to Blackpool?
Oh man, I thought you were a proud Brit.
I've never. When I was a kid, my dad said, "Well, I went to all these places when I was young, and there was shit then, so I don't want to go back." So we went to go to Spain instead.
They're not shit, they've got their own little charm, haven't they?
They're very British.
Yeah.
Well, there you go then. We're going to have to...
Have a night on Blackpool.
Yeah, one of the milestones that comes along. We'll get a good old Blackpool and do some gambling and watch some boardy show.
They don't have that in
They
Blackpool.
do.
Boardy
It's
shows.
the Vegas of the North.
What, are we
Yeah.
talking like
Fun
sex shows or
fairs,
just
roller coasters.
Well, burlesque and all that.
Yeah, comedy.
Blackpool burlesque girls?
Bands, all on the seafront. There's a pier. Piers are always fun. Amusements. Get yourself a greasy hot dog or a burger. Onions? Fuck yes. Onions on, that's it. Loads.
Not for him with his ass.
Yeah, you don't want me having fried onions.
Next to the sea. Come on. I mean, there'll be orange-skinned ghouls.
The sea that's full of
You know,
shit.
You know, there'll be horrific ladies in tiny dresses and angel wings with little cowboy hats on, being sick in the street.
Yep, a lot of stag parties
There'll
and
be men fighting.
hen parties there.
There'll be fist fights, but you sort of navigate our way through all of that without any bother. Just don't mind me, gentlemen, just coming through.
Can't I just go to Cyprus for 10 days and have a thoroughly pleasant time?
Well, it's not. No,
It's an experience, isn't it?
it's Britain.
It's Blackpool.
And that's why I go on holiday out of Britain.
No, you don't know all that foreign muck.
Yes, I do.
Let's go and have mushy peas.
Oh, great.
Sorry. But anyway, I don't know how we got into Blackpool. What was next in the Obi-Wan Nairobi story?
Well, he definitely shoots and kills two of the attackers, and he gets awarded the Conspicuous Gallantry Cross for his extreme bravery.
It was extreme bravery.
It certainly was. The issue that Christian Craighead has is that he wasn't officially ordered to go, and he wasn't officially ordered not to go. I think they were quite happy that he went and did it, because number one, it makes them look great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good publicity. for
Great,
sure.
fantastic publicity.
Yeah.
Imagine how much more training money you're going to get off foreign states now. Want their soldiers to be able to do
I
this.
bet you people went and did the trials and stuff because of that as well.
Apparently so, yeah.
Yeah.
See that?
Served as an inspiration to young soldiers.
Yeah.
I mean, he came from the parachute regiment anyway. It took him 2 attempts to get through selection. Christian Craighead.
He didn't give up. Tried
You know.
the third time. That says something about his character, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is about mentality, apparently, passing selection. It's all about the not wanting to give up.
Yeah.
And they will put you in some horrible situations.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I passed it, but I turned it.
Yeah, a bit other stuff to do. So, no, the logistics industry needs me.
Yeah.
Well,
Her Majesty's gain is the haulage industry's loss.
that's the other way around.
No. No, if I joined them, it would be a loss.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Come on, keep up.
The first 5 a.m. wake up call, I'd fail that.
The fucking, and you know what? You actually get the fucking bugle coming through the speakers to
I was
wake you
shoving that
up.
up his arse, I can tell you that.
A pre-recorded bugle comes across the tannoy at 6 a.m. every fucking morning, and it's like, oh, that's the worst way to be woken up. Oh god, you just don't want it. No. And the lights come on as well.
Oh God, here we go. 500
Where's me
press
cup
up.
of tea? I ain't getting out of bed till I get me cup of tea.
Snaps you for even saying it. Tea! You soft as shit, boy!
Oh, I'm going home.
It's dead. It's here in an hour!
You've been here 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm going back.
Just turn up and just goes, it's having a nap.
Private Vincent, get that noose around your neck immediately! It's been 15 minutes! Why you haven't given me a gun yet?
That's the thing, the first part of it is literally just fitness.
Yeah,
Can you
run through
handle
the
the
Welsh
physical
mountains.
demands?
Don't just like, here, go in the Welsh mountains and try not to die. Oh. Right then.
Do you want a summer selection or do you want a winter selection?
I don't know which is worse because people have died in both, haven't they?
They have.
You don't want snow though. I'd rather the heat than snow.
I don't want that heat.
Well, why can't we do it like in the midnight?
Because they only do it in summer or winter.
Oh, of course they do. How inconsiderate.
I know.
A day like today would be perfect. Pissing it down. No, obviously I wouldn't last a second. Not many people do they? That's
Nope.
why they are quite literally the fucking best.
What is it, 1% of 1%?
Something like that. You've got the same chance of joining the SAS as you have of making it as a top professional footballer in this country.
Yeah, that's a pretty small group, isn't it? A couple hundred people. Well, no, it's more than that.
A couple of
How many
thousand.
people, how many players in the Premier League?
Well, say 30 per squad, there's 20 teams.
How many of them come through the youth and make it as a top player?
600. And if you're talking British, it's probably about a third of that.
And out of a population.
About 200.
This is how many is in the SAS usually, about 200 guys at any one time. You're looking at, like, if you have a group of 100 people, maybe 2 or 3 are making it through. Sometimes no one makes it through. Because you can go through the whole lot, not jack in, and they just go, you know what, we just don't think you're right this time.
We don't like your face.
We think you're going to be a bit of a gobby twat. You know, work on that. Because you've got to have that cohesion, haven't you?
Yeah, of course. You know, we'd be able to trust each other. A band of brothers.
You know, they do interrogation training and shit like that, so, you know, you're probably taking a beating during that to make it as real as possible.
Bit of waterboarding.
I'd imagine you'd have to go through that, yeah.
Christ.
Pass, thanks.
Yeah.
For me.
Well, good on these
I'm
lads.
glad there are people that, we
Yeah.
need these people.
Good on them for doing it for us.
I guess, it's better. I mean, are they psychopaths?
It's controlled aggression.
You gotta be, haven't you, in a way?
I don't know, but maybe.
You gotta be able to sort of switch it off, haven't you? I mean,
Maybe they could train that into you.
You're a professional. The thing is, they train that much. This is muscle memory to them. It's mechanical. When they do the hostage rescue team, there's a good little anecdote for you.
Yeah, but if you're garroting somebody,
Well, okay, that is a bit different. But why would you garrote someone when you can just plunge a knife through the base of their skull?
or whatever. He's an example. I mean, you know, you've got to do some heinous shit to other
But these
human beings.
people are really bad.
Yeah.
And it's your job. When you sign on that dotted line,
know,
you're
but
saying, I'm a professional soldier and I'm
You've
going
still
to
got to strangle a man to death. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, your job's to kill people.
I know. So you've got to be that kind of.
Well, it's in that scenario, if it's like you're strangling him, then it's you or him, isn't it? So it's a survival
But
instinct.
it's not always.
If you're at 100 yards of the rifle and you can put two in his
It's a
head
lot
quite
easier,
comfortably, it's a lot easier, isn't it?
Well, I heard the guy saying on the podcast I watched as well that a lot of times it's gun battles where you know you don't always see the results of what you've fired. Like you know you've done the damage and destruction, but you don't always know exactly what you've.
True, but then there's other times when you're like in the Bora Bora caves and you.
Tora Bora.
That's it.
I'm sure somebody's
Pistols
done,
and knives.
I'm sure somebody's done a Rambo before and actually ripped a man's throat out of his body.
That's what I mean.
That is pretty cool, though, isn't it?
Hey, that guy was about to rape somebody.
He was.
Rambo ripped his throat off. Ripped his throat off his body.
It's incredible. It's a fucking good film, that
Oh,
is.
it's fucking mind blowing. Just fast forward the bit at the start with all the real world death. With all the scenes of the real, actual Burma war. You're like, oh, it's an actual dead body.
Great.
Yeah. But yeah, sets the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this guy did this is what I'm saying, one man, I know, alright, he killed 2 people, but there's only 4 of them. And it's not so much the killing the people, it was going in and rescuing, in, out, rescuing hundreds of people. Fucking hero. One man machine. And also taking command, just the balls and the organisation and the confidence, the knowledge to just get to a situation like this, take command, start dishing out the orders. People trust you instinctively because they can just tell,
This guy knows what he's doing.
Billy Big Balls is here. Not in a bad way.
He's just got him plopped on the table.
There's SAS tattooed across there.
And the Union flag. I think you'll find my credentials here. Ugh. Flops his balls out. Maybe you should speak to Major D's.
Yes. Where are these hostages you speak of? I'll be back in a jiffy.
Yeah, when they do the hostage rescue training, they have a special house built on the camp called the Killing House. It's hung with like thick rubber to stop ricochets, and they take celebrities, politicians,
This is
all
mental.
sorts there.
Have you heard this, guys?
Right, so Margaret Thatcher has to go in 'cause she's the PM. If she's ever captured by terrorists, they need her not to be running around as soon as shit goes off.
Right.
So they usually have an SAS bloke stood behind them, holding the shoulders.
Yeah.
And there'll be various targets around them, cardboard targets that fall over, all that shit.
Right.
And they will go in and storm the building with blank rounds, live rounds.
Live.
They only use live rounds in training for this.
Okay.
They're using flashbangs, so little miniature fireworks that disorientate people within the room. They actually build up an immunity to it, which is fucking amazing because they use it that often.
Yeah.
They go in and they'll put a torrent of fire down the fucking nose of somebody into a target. Thatcher apparently fucking loved it, but you can imagine she would. But a young Princess Diana went to the Killing House. She had to go, marrying the future king, of course. She used to have quite long hair, didn't she? But when she got married, she had shorter hair. There's a reason for that, and it involves the SAS.
Did they burn it off?
Yes. They throw in a flashbang into the room, and a stray spark gets her longer hair.
Oh, God.
So the SAS guy behind her starts patting her back like that. Like, she comes out and she's like, "Oh yeah, that was really something. That was intense." Don't understand why the guy kept patting my back though. And the reason that she had a shorter hair because of her wedding is because she didn't have time to grow her hair back.
Oh, man. No, I'd never heard of this.
Mental, innit?
I think now you say it though, I think I've seen Alan Partridge do this. Honestly, I'm sure he did. They made him experience a flash thingy, and he may have
Rings a bell.
urinated. Those flashbangs. Speaking of those, I was watching a documentary about Raoul Moat, And,
Oh, yeah. A folk hero in some parts.
Oh, God, no.
For the listener who doesn't know who Raoul Moat is, you have to
He
explain
was a
it.
mad gunman in Britain who went on the run and shot 3 people, one of them a police officer, and there was a massive manhunt, and Paul Gascoigne's involved at one point, but that's another story. Bit of the story I didn't realise is he had 2 accomplices who pretended they were hostages, but they were his mates helping him. Anyway, at some point they legged it, and there's this helicopter footage of them mooching down a country lane. No one knows we're here. Unmarked police car pulls up alongside, launches out a... I didn't know we used them just in, regular police work in this country. Through these things, I tell you what, man, even from the helicopter, they fucking went off like fireworks. These lads just instant panic, dropped to their knees, just completely fucking dazed, like, what the fuck was that? And then before you know it, they're in the back of the car, and I was like, holy shit, them things go off like a fucking...
It's, your ears ring, everything kind of goes white, you're sort of disorientated.
Well, especially in a room, they're going to be...
They're deafening, your ears ring. There's every chance, guys, if that was an unmarked police car, there might have been a couple of SAS guys in that car. They do get used for things like that. Maybe not there's so much shooty, but certainly tracking them down.
Yes, because they had to try and find these. They were hiding out in the...
And advising the police on how to storm the place if they have to. Yes. Usually they call in a member of the SAS for that.
Well, I think maybe we should do an episode on Raoul Moat one day.
I think so.
Yeah, Raoul. It's me, Gaza. I got you some fried chicken. Your favourite.
Didn't he
I got you some beers and some chicken. Please stop shooting the policeman. Come on, man. Have some fried chicken.
Did he leave a fishing rod and
It
4
must be
smellers?
Chinese.
He had a fishing rod and some beers. He's like, I know him, I'll calm him down.
And again, if you're listening around the world, Paul Gascoigne's a retired, incredibly famous professional footballer from the area who happened to know Raoul Moat somehow. Yeah, and he turned up at the scene.
Yeah.
Surreal as fuck. Oh, God.
Good old Gazza.
Oh, yeah. Bless him. I watched a clip of him the other day. It was at some, Legends game for Glasgow, and, he invited this little kid on the pitch. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't, no.
Gives him the ball and then just fucking trips him over. The kid's really upset, and he's like, oh, sorry. Picks him up, go on. Gives him the ball.
He was
and
known
just
for
fucking does it again.
He was known for his pranks when he Gazza.
But the crowd are loving it.
One time he put some haddock or something. He hid it in someone's car, another player, but he hid it twice. Yeah, 'cause he thought, right, he's gonna find it the first time, and then he's gonna think I've dealt with the problem.
And drive off.
I think the smell's residual; it'll go away. But no, he hid it. He's hid 2 haddocks in the car. Weeks later, this guy was like, this footballer was like, smell this fucking fish ain't going away.
He was crazy, wasn't he?
What's the one he goes, the ball goes over the fence, he goes, I'll go get that, boss.
Oh,
and he just
God.
fucks off for the rest of the day, and everyone knows he's gone. And then they comes in for training the next day, and he runs in with the ball, hops over the fence, goes, I got it, boss.
He jumps back over the fence the next day. What a commitment to prankery in the same clothes with the ball. Can you imagine? I would have died. I would have fucking died. You silly man.
Enough about Gaza.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Christian Craighead,
Legend.
I think we can argue massive legend.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
SAS legend.
Giant balls of British steel.
Yes, I'm looking forward to reading the book, should it ever get released. The High Court have blocked it, but he'll just go through and appeal it, and eventually after enough time's passed, they'll let it go.
Well, good on him. Because he is limited, very limited to what he can say, isn't he? I saw him on a podcast saying there may or may not be some footage out there of somebody who may resemble me doing these things, but I can neither confirm. No, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, he will not say what happened in the embassy, in the hotel, live. The only confirmation I've got that he killed 2 of them personally was a few YouTube videos and the article that we sort of use as a basis for this.
There was some CCTV footage, wasn't there?
That may or may not be him, or may not exist. But yeah, that was released, and There's photos of him there with a balaclava on. He's clearly a white dude.
Well, I think that now he's fucked off to America and retired, he should start an A team. He's certainly very Hannibal-like.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just with a different accent.
Mr. T would be up for it. I know he's getting on a bit, but...
No, well, no, he could get together some actual SAS people,
Yeah.
not 77-year-old actors. I mean, have you seen Google Mr. T recent pictures shuffling around a
Oh, is he?
supermarket? He just looks like someone's granddad. Of course he does, he's like fucking 90.
I thought he might have kept it going, you know. Last time I saw him on the Chickers advert, he looked quite in shape.
Go on, Mr. T, we got one last mission
He's
for you.
still fitter than us, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, we're reforming the gang.
No, I meant like some actual other SAS.
We've got the ghost of George Pepperhart. Christian Craighead. But you.
Ghosts. He just needs 3 other retired SAS Delta Force types. One of them a large African American gentleman.
Who wears a lot of gold.
You know, one an insane pilot, and the other one a very handsome con man. Anyway.
Shouldn't be too difficult, eh?
No, it should be good, but I just think, you know, if you're doing things like this, you know, private security.
Do you know what his favourite films are, Christian Craighead? They're all films very much in this sort of thing, where one guy goes in. Like Demolition Man, he fucking loves Demolition Man.
Quality film.
Loves Commando with Arnie in.
film.
It's like, I'm seeing a pattern.
Yeah.
Like, you clearly you know, made the decision, this is my Demolition Man moment.
You know, there's a scene in Commando where he's just shooting guards towards the end, just insane amount of guards, just bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam, bam. And it's like, if you look closely, it's the same stuntman with wigs on, like, in a few scenes. But anyway, that was added after filming because Rambo came out, or Rambo 2, and they counted the body count, and things were so petty between Arnold and Sylvester that they went back and reshot that so that he had a higher body count than Rambo.
Wow.
They also measured Rambo's knife and made sure that the knife Arnold uses in Commando is 2 inches longer.
Wow.
And all the guns he uses, if you notice, are large and ridiculous.
Yeah. That 4
Rocket
missile
launchers.
launcher thing,
Yeah, it was all just back and forth silly competition, but we all benefited from it.
We did.
We won. Competition brings out the best in everybody.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
The golden era of action movies.
One-man armies, but you really can be a one-man army if you're in the SAS, apparently.
It worked in this scenario anyway.
Good on him.
Oh, it's for case.
Yeah.
And,
Hero.
you know, coolest nickname ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Hello there.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't say it earlier.
I forgot. I hope he said that before he shot the first terrorist.
Yeah, he's got to.
Comes around the corner, the guy looks, hello there. Bang. Oh, sorry. Bang, bang.
And that was it.
Yeah. Oh, well, awesome.
Right, I think we'll end the show there then. I've been Ben, thank you very much for listening. Don't drink the flavour aid, don't join a cult, and only approach terrorist scenarios if you've got the proper training.
Yes.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out, with the force be with you.
I've been Gaz, free Biff Tannen. Honestly, think about it, it's really sick. He needs to be freed. Bye.